Hi guys, so today I want to share with you something really special and really very obscure that I did not find a lot of information about online, and it is the four feminine archetypes that were originally described by a woman named Toni Wolf. Toni Wolf was an analytic psychologist who worked with Carl Jung, and she wrote a book that I will leave a link to down below. It's now just available online that you could take a look at. I'll also leave some other resources below so that you could read further. And one of the resources that I'll leave is a paper written by Tad and Noreen Guzie, or Guzie. I hope I'm saying their name right. So these are also analytic psychologists who expanded on the work of Toni Wolf. And on top of that, I also bought their book, as you can see right here. Yeah, not sponsored, okay? This YouTube channel has like no subscribers. But I would highly recommend this book if you are someone who is lost in finding your femininity. This could be it for you, truly. These archetypes are based on analytic psychology. They are not based on Greek mythology. They aren't based on a review of literature, I don't think. I think these are based from the psychological practice and the study of Carl Jung and Toni Wolf, and then later as well, Tad and Noreen Guzie are also analytic psychologists. So this is very much psychology and not so much, very esoteric stuff or anything like that. So I'm going to talk about what's in this book, and I'm only going to share what's in the book, and I'm not going to share too much of my personal opinions about this or the applications to modern society. I'm only going to share what's in the book. So keep that in mind that these are not my personal opinions. So the whole thing with this book is that the archetypes are defined by how they find their identity and fulfillment, and not necessarily by how they behave all the time or the lifestyle that they have. Indeed, a lot of people are quite lost and they feel confused because they have this incongruence with the inner and outer world. So you could be one archetype, but you could be trying and forcing yourself to live out another archetype. And that's why I really wanted to share these archetypes with you guys. So let's get into it. The four feminine archetypes are the mother, the companion, the Amazon, and the Mediatrix. So let's start with the mother. So the mother, I'll read right from the book. Mother finds her identity and fulfillment in helping, cherishing, nurturing, and protecting. So if you're annoyed right now, maybe you should be, because this is really the archetype that this is not new. Why am I even making this video? This is the archetype that literally everyone knows about. This is the one that is most socially accepted in society. And indeed, some women truly are the mother archetype. They really find their fulfillment in these caring professions. They find their fulfillment in helping others, in aiding others, in nurturing others. And they also find their fulfillment literally in being a mother oftentimes as well. Some more things that are described in this book about the mother archetype is that the mother is concerned with social status, and her masculine counterpart is the father. So the mother is concerned with the social status of her husband or her future mate. She's concerned with him being a good provider for the future family and things like that. And she's very much about relating to people in a collective way. So she is all about doing for others, and she finds the most fulfilling relationships for her are when she can nurture people, either if it's her friends or her husband or anything like that. It doesn't matter. Children, whatever. She wants to really nurture people and protect people. So that is the mother. Next up, we have the companion. So the companion, I'll read right from the book. Companion finds her identity and fulfillment in accompanying others and in being accompanied. So this is noticed very different from the mother. So the companion is also a feminine archetype. So companion is all about understanding people one-on-one, and it's all about understanding people deeply one-on-one and connecting with them in that way. So companion can be very adaptive. So this is someone, they describe this in the book, where you ask, one of your friends, you ask her, well, where do you want to go to eat? She says, I want to go wherever you want to go. And that might seem like maybe a lie. She must have her own preference, but she honestly wants to go where you want to go because she really cares about you and she wants you to be happy. And she finds her fulfillment in really deeply connecting to others. The companion could also be a mother. It doesn't mean that the companion would not make a good mother or wouldn't be wouldn't want to be a mother at all, but rather the companion is going to be a mother differently than the mother archetype. So the companion is described as being a mother that is a mother who is more about the individual needs of the child. They're more about who the child is on the inside. They're more about supporting the child in becoming their true selves and things like that. And the mother archetype is more about the collective and about the family overall. And the mother also, of course, cares and nurtures for her children, but she sees children as a part of the family rather more than she sees them as individuals. And just remember that, of course, there's a part of every archetype in all of us, and it even says in the book, we all have different parts of different archetypes, but this is where you find your identity and fulfillment. So the book describes the mother as finding her identity and fulfillment in doing for others, and the companion as finding the identity and fulfillment in doing with others. Next up, we have the Amazon archetype. So let me read from the book. The Amazon is the self-contained woman who finds her identity and fulfillment in managing the outer world. So this is someone who is very much accomplished. She really wants to succeed and excel. She wants competition and achievement. So she is really someone who strives for excellence. Now, I want to stop here and offer my personal opinion, even though I said I wouldn't. So this is the archetype that a lot of people will sort of mislabel, and I do say mislabel. They will mislabel as masculine, and they'll say, well, you're not really a feminine woman, you're into achievement and you're into all of this, but really, it's right here. Amazon being interested in achievement, being interested in excellence, interested in achieving in the outer world is a feminine archetype. And this is something that is, according to analytic psychologists, this is not something, and this was in the 50s too, so this is something that people recognized through psychology. So if you're someone who, is thinking that, wanting to be successful and wanting to achieve is not feminine, then, you're simply, I guess, wrong, because analytic psychologists have said that this is a feminine archetype, and it's only the societal expectations that there's really only the mother archetype. The mother archetype is the most socially acceptable feminine archetype, and everyone else is seen as not feminine. The Amazon is a real feminine archetype according to people who actually study femininity, according to a woman herself who worked with Carl Jung in the 50s during a time that was quite sexist, and she identified the Amazon archetype. So this is a real feminine archetype. This is not a woman who is not in touch with her feminine or anything like that. This is a real feminine archetype, and if you are this archetype, then you will know that you do feel feminine when you are achieving, when you are excelling, when you're doing your best in the outer world. And if you're an Amazon, you could have very well been confused because you feel feminine, but you're like, well, I'm not the mother archetype, though. I don't feel nurturing necessarily. Well, this is your type of femininity. The Amazon archetype doesn't always have to be someone who is, a lawyer or really, a high-flying achiever. They could also be someone who really wants to, run a very efficient office as an administrator, or even wants to run a very efficient household where everything is, really efficient and working smoothly. So the Amazon is really about having a sense of excellence in the outer world. Last but not least, we have the Mediatrix. So the Mediatrix, I will read from the book again. The Mediatrix, or a mediumistic woman, has access to the collective unconscious and finds her identity and fulfillment in mediating the world of the unconscious. She is permeated by the non-tangible atmosphere of her surroundings and the latent spirit of her time. She is the receptive container for a flow of information that originates outside herself, and she helps others to see what is invisible. She senses what is going on under the surface of a group or an event and is drawn to express it. I wanted to read more from the book than for the other ones because I feel like this is the archetype that's very sort of difficult to put into words, so I wanted to make sure to get that to you guys. But this is basically the archetype that I identify with. And by the way, this does not mean that I am good at mediating the collective unconscious, but I do find meaning and fulfillment in it, even if I'm bad at it. So remember that that's sort of the key. You know, you could be a mother archetype and be a bad mother. You could be a companion archetype and be a bad friend. You could be the mediumistic woman and be a horrible medium. That's how I personally see it, because in the book they do describe, you know, different sort of shadow sides of how these people would be if they didn't develop themselves. So for example, you know, the dark side of the mediatrix shows itself most often in inflated thoughts and actions. Many artists and writers who are mediumistic overestimate their message. So basically they are, you know, they think that they know everything and they think that they have this amazing, you know, knowledge or whatever, when in reality they're kind of overestimating their talents and overestimating their gifts. So it's definitely possible that, you know, you could be a mediatrix, but you could just be kind of, you haven't really honed in on your skills yet and you don't really know what you're doing. But the whole point of the mediatrix, and comparing the mediatrix to the companion, the mediatrix is all about mediating the collective unconscious. And mediatrix is similar to mother because they are both relating to people in a collective way. On the other hand, mediatrix is similar to companion because mediatrix is channeling the collective unconscious, but companion is channeling the individual's unconscious. So that is the difference. Mediatrix is also described as having a certain knowing, and that is different from simply having an intuition. So this is someone who seems to know things about the environment or gets a sense of things without really understanding why. So you could get a sense about people, you know, and end up trusting them when other people don't trust them, and you can't really explain why. And also because the mediatrix is not necessarily concerned with status and not concerned with social status, she could also fall into the trap of simply saying the things that she perceives, and those things could just not go over very well with a lot of people. So she just sort of wants to share what she perceives in the environment that is a bit unconscious to other people. And it is different from intuition because mediatrix will have this kind of knowing, and everyone has an intuition. Everyone has their own intuition. All the four archetypes, and I'm sure the masculine archetypes, also have intuition. The difference is that the mediatrix has a type of knowing, and not only that, she will also find her identity and fulfillment in communicating this knowing to the world. So that is the difference. One more thing about the mediatrix, because she is channeling the unconscious desires, the unconscious truths of her time, of her environment, of her friends, of her spouse, she might have a really hard time knowing what is hers and what is someone else's. So she has a hard time with identity. And she really needs to develop a strong sense of identity to be able to really mediate these kinds of unconscious truths about the world without losing herself in them. So that is the mediatrix. So those are the four archetypes. In the next videos, I want to discuss how you can be more than one archetype. I want to discuss how you can identify your own archetype if it's not something that you have readily identified already. And I want to delve deeper into these archetypes and talk more about them and hopefully find some more information or some more understanding for you guys about these archetypes. So if you liked this video, of course, please like it, please share it, and I hope you subscribe too, so that you can learn more about the feminine archetypes that I'm going to talk about in future videos, hopefully. And check out all of the sources that I have in the description if you want to learn more right away. You can get this book, right? And things like that. So leave some comments and questions and video requests as well down below if you want me to sort of cover certain topics. If you want my opinion on any of this, then you can certainly leave some comments down below. I really look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys next time. Okay, bye.